Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Chicago Business Review. I am Young Lee, your host for the show. And today I am so excited for our guest. He is somebody that I look up to greatly. He is the co-founder and co-CEO of Properties, the 10th largest real estate brokerage in the nation by Real Trends. They have over 3,500 agents in 9 states, and they have recently announced that they will be franchising. So people all across the country will have the benefits of Properties systems and back end and marketing, which I am a huge fan of. Not only that, our guest is responsible for finances, sales, and business ops for Properties. He has had a huge impact on not only those systems, but also in starting Proper Rate, a independent mortgage brokerage powered by Guaranteed Rate. And he also has started Proper Title, which is the second largest title company here in the state of Illinois, all within the last 20 years. So as you can see, I am so excited to bring on our guest. So let's not wait any longer. Mike Golden, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for being on.
Young Lee, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here, and I appreciate the intro. A little bit overblown, but
Yeah.
listen, we've got an incredible team here all the way around. You and everyone from our staff to our leadership team, they're the ones who all make it happen. So we've been very fortunate and blessed to have an incredibly cool group of people to work with, and they're the ones who have all made it happen. But appreciate you giving me and Thad a little credit, but we got to give credit to a lot of other people. So,
You know, of course, you're being modest, but that's one of your great qualities of being a leader and one of the best leaders I've encountered in my life. And I've encountered a decent number of leaders in my life. So big kudos to you guys. And I know we do have a great team here at Properties, and you guys have had a big say in the people that have come along throughout these 20 years. Now, I guess my first question is it's blown my mind how you guys have grown this company in such a short period of time. What do you think has been like the biggest factor in terms of your overall growth during this period?
a lot of it goes back to the team. Like I said, I mean, I think that Thad and I hopefully have made some good decisions, and we have surrounded ourselves with people much smarter and much better than we are. But it does really fall back to the team who've helped us grow it. But I think as a business, one of the things that's helped us primarily grow is just our adaptability. Our ability to adapt to changing markets, our ability to adapt to changing needs of all the real estate professionals that work for us. And I think, as you put it, we are servant leaders here, and that's really important because from our perspective, you are my client. Every broker that works here is our client, and we as a team need to make sure we fundamentally find the best way to service you so that you can then service your clients, buyers and sellers out there. So everything we do, we create with the idea for the end consumer, but the reality is they're not really my client. You guys are. And so, I think it's been the kind of focus in the ability for us to adapt and to change as the markets have changed has definitely given us an edge versus some of our competitors who, especially some of the larger, older school ones who just couldn't and didn't adapt to a changing world. Some of these big companies, it's like turning the Titanic to get them to change directions. And as my partner Thad, he'll change directions on a dime. So I just have to make sure I keep up with him.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I have had experience with other brokerages. I had my own brokerage, and just seeing your guys' ability to pivot and adapt and just constantly innovate and create more opportunities. And something that you said there for anybody that is trying to grow their business is what you said of being a servant leader and also having the your client or whoever you're servicing's best outcome at heart. So you guys do that better than anyone I've ever met in terms of servicing the people that work for you guys or that partner with you guys. And therefore, I feel like from top down, that gives us the ability to therefore have our clients' needs and as a priority. And I think that that's the difference that App Properties provides versus other places. So I know in this 20 years, like we said, you guys have already become the largest brokerage in terms of sales volume and transactions in Illinois. And now you're looking to franchise. Why the decision to franchise now versus maybe some other time in the past or in the future?
I mean, the world's all about timing. If we look at some of our growth and some of the initiatives, you mentioned both proper rate and proper title. We were kind of late in the game as a company. If you look at companies that were our size, similar companies nationally, we were pretty late in the game getting in the ancillary service businesses. But it was about timing. With title, we waited until we found kind of the right time and the right team. With proper rate, we were aligned with guaranteed rate for many, many years. But it was the right time for us to create a joint venture and to create a company. And that's what we started that with them in 2020. So that's a new initiative for this year. The franchising is really no different. We feel like the time is right. We've really spent the last 10 years building the foundational base that we all work off of, and the base that we've created that we're going to use for our franchisees. And we owe Joni Meyerowitz, who is our chief operating officer, a tremendous amount of credit, because a lot of it was her vision in terms of building the technology so that everything spoke to each other, and so that it was basically our own proprietary tech that worked the way we wanted it to. We used to try to buy off the shelf pieces, and the reality is we couldn't get stuff to work best for you, for your business, and so it didn't work for us. So we built it ourselves. So, Joni really laid that groundwork with the idea that eventually we could take and package it and bring it into other markets that we're not in, and work with other entrepreneurs to help them build, their brand, their business, along with our brand, our business. If you look at kind of how we built our business over the years, our broker, the agents, you guys are primary. You're the most important thing. We build our brand alongside you, but really it's about building your brand, and we get the benefits of it. And it's sort of no different with the idea of being able to take our technology and our brand and work with other entrepreneurs to further build the brand out, and utilizing their talents. And we just felt that, at the time we are right now, we've talked to a lot of people in the industry. There's a bunch of franchise brands out there, but they're pretty tired. They're all somewhat similar, and they don't offer the same value proposition. So we felt like, even though it's been a weird year, a weird time where the world kind of crashed and we didn't know what it was going to look like, to where we are now, we felt like this is the right time for us to do it. And again, it's about finding the right team. We were able to bring in Chris Lim, who's an industry exec and has experience both building his own successful brokerage company and then also working on building a franchise brand. So it's sort of like, for us, we're very opportunistic. When the right things happen at the right time, we just go with it. We don't necessarily try to time it. We found the right team, the right people, and we were at a place and a stage where we felt comfortable that we could take not just our technology, but our whole platform and bring it somewhere else. So we're in it, and working with Thad, we're doing it 10,000 miles an hour. So we're excited. We're really excited about it.
No, I am a part of a coaching program, a nationwide or worldwide coaching program through Tom Ferry. And every time we go to conferences and such, and we share materials, everyone is just always blown away by the materials that you guys offer through App Properties for the brokers to present an aesthetically pleasing presentation to the consumer and the client. And that's from the marketing materials all the way through to the yard signs, like the amount of thought and attention to detail you guys put in to service the end consumer. I think is second to none. And so every time I mentioned it to other people, I'm like, unfortunately, there's not net properties in your market, but now there is. So if you guys ever have any questions about starting a franchise or finding out more about App Properties and the amazing technology and marketing that they have, please reach out. You can reach out to me and I can connect you with whoever you need to talk to here, or you can check out the website at atproperties.com. And somebody there will be able to connect you as well. But something else you said, Mike, throughout the last question and this question, you keep mentioning the people, the team, having the right people in place. Would you say that that's the most important thing when growing an organization, is finding the right people, or is it timing, innovation? What would you say is the most important thing about
Well, I
growing
mean,
an organization?
sorry. It's obviously, our business is all about people. We don't have any assets beyond people, whether it be our leadership team, our brokers and agents, our staff. We're just a people company. We have our core values. Our number one value here is relationships. It's all about relationships. Our relationships with each other are the most critical thing for our business. So for us, yeah, the people are super critical. And I think in any business they are, but specifically in a business like ours, where it is just about the people, and it's bringing the right people in and finding people who are committed to innovation, to striving for excellence, which are two of our other core values. That we all have this same focused commitment to delivering the best product and never sitting back and resting on our laurels. You can never say, you know what, we're the biggest now, so we're the best. The biggest doesn't matter. Being the best matters, and the only way you can continue to be the best is by continuing to evolve and innovate. Thad has a saying: if it's not broken, break it and make it better. And we really live by that. In that, we are constantly trying to improve as an organization, because you can't sit back, because or otherwise you'll get left behind. And for us, we see incredible opportunities to grow locally, to hopefully grow our brand. But it all comes back to you, the people that are making it happen for us. So our focus has to be creating the resources, whether it be technology or marketing or our systems or anything that's going to help you with your business. And that's why the franchising, I think, is so exciting for us, because it's allowing us to make an even bigger investment in technology and in resources and in growing the platform and growing the things that can help your businesses thrive. So for us, the franchise is a net win-win, because by growing the platform, we can just invest more into the business and come up with more and cooler ideas. I mean, we are constantly coming up with more and more ideas, and then it's just bandwidth to fill them. And this gives us more bandwidth. So we're stoked about it.
Yeah, no, every time you guys expand or grow, you can see the direct benefit to us, the brokers here. And it's just an amazing thing to witness. Now, I guess my next question would be like, how do you guys stay motivated and not get complacent being number one and having grown it to a certain size? Like, when people might tell you like, oh, why do you keep needing to grow? You're already number one. You're already the best brokerage. Like, what keeps you motivated and not complacent?
I guess we always believe that we can be better, that we can learn more, that we can do better. I think it's just part of our DNA. And part of it is we saw some of our competitors sit back, and I remember interviewing with a large brokerage company in a market one time, and this is when Thad and I worked for a small brokerage company before we started at. I talked to people before to get a sense of what was out there, and I asked them, what makes you the best? And they were like, well, we're the biggest. Well, I'm like, okay, you're the biggest. But and back then, being the biggest was a little, probably even a little more powerful than it is now, because you didn't have all the resources and the technology and the internet. But for us, we feel like if we sit back and we say, God, we're done. We've reached the peak. Like, hey, it's no more fun, because it's only fun if you're building and doing something cool and changing. And like, change is what makes life interesting. So for us, I just don't think we could ever sit back and say, wow, we've reached the point that we need to reach. I don't think, and I don't think you can in any business anymore. I mean, there's so much competition. There's so many smart people that are working incredibly hard, coming up with new ideas. You have to stay ahead of the curve because otherwise the curve will leave you behind. Look what happened as our business evolved over the last 20 plus years. If you still work the way that you did 25 years ago, when I first got in the business 25 years ago, and I remember I used to have those big books. They come every
The
2 weeks to
MLS
the
books,
office,
yeah.
and that's how you knew what the listings were. And back then, you had to, if you wanted to buy or sell a home, you had to work with a real estate broker because your options were working with an agent, or finding an agent to represent you, or like maybe you could put one of those tiny little like ads in like the Tribune like classified section, and maybe someone would see it. But the chances of that happening were so minuscule, you didn't have a choice. So the value was you had to come to me. Now you have to actually create a value proposition for yourself because the information's out there. You don't have, no one's got control of the information anymore. So that creates opportunity, and then it's about taking advantage of the opportunity. So if you ever sit back and say, God, I've reached the peak, your opportunity is going to blow right by you, and someone's faster, smarter, and will work harder is going to eat your lunch. And I like my lunch. Look at me, I like to eat. So
Yeah, right.
I don't want to lose my lunch. So I think as a company and as a team, that's what we're committed to. Always trying to evolve and get better, because otherwise we're failing our clients, which are you. And I don't think any of us could live with that.
Yeah, I think you said a couple of really insightful things. One was just enjoying the journey, like realizing that it's not about necessarily hitting the goal, which is also very important, but actually enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, and realizing like you don't stay the same. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. There is no like, hey, I'm not going to work out and I'm just going to stay the same. Your body then deteriorates. That's with anything in life. And so seeing you guys just constantly hungry to grow and innovate and improve the technology and improve the value proposition for us as brokers has just been incredible to witness in my short period of time here. That's been one of my big regrets, is that I didn't come sooner. But
It's all about
now
timing. You know what? You came when
it,
you were supposed to come, and we love having you. We feel very fortunate to have the group that we do, and and then we maintain our commitment. But but it should be fun. It needs to be fun. When Dad and I started the company, it was we were just the two of us and a couple people, but we just said among anything, beyond anything else, it needs to be fun, and we need to enjoy going to work every day. How much time do you spend working? You spend the majority of your waking life, working. So if you're spending that much time working, you might as well. And it's not all fun, but you should find a way to enjoy the vast majority of it. And you got to laugh a little, and you can't take yourself too seriously. And but you definitely, I think, enjoying the journey as opposed to you set your goal. I mean, I remember we used to set goals, and if we got anywhere close to our goal, we bumped the goal up because then there was nothing to strive for. So I think that's what makes it interesting and fun, and it's what keeps us engaged, and hopefully keeps us young as we get older. We were like the young guys when we started. I got a lot of gray hair now. I don't feel quite so young anymore.
I remember seeing those pictures, those news clippings and things like that. And I'm like, wow, man, those guys looked young back then. But that's also something that I want to kind of get out there, is like a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I'm too young right now. Oh, maybe when I get older, I can try to build or create something. But you guys started really early on, and you've created this incredible company in a reasonable period of time. And so it is just a testament to you guys, but also an encouragement to anyone out there that like, you're never too young to start. You just got to go with it and be committed to excellence, like you were saying, and growing each and every day and realizing it doesn't happen overnight. But if you embrace the process, you'll get to your destination eventually. So that's incredible. Now, we were saying you're overseeing over 3,500 agents, and that agent count keeps growing. What do you think is the biggest factor in people succeeding versus not succeeding over watching, a bunch of different careers?
I mean, in our business, nothing substitutes for hard work. There's no easy path that you can leapfrog over. A lot of our success comes from us just outworking our competition. I mean, just willing to work harder, work longer. So, I think that being committed and working hard is critical. I think, having a plan and following a plan is super critical. Like, if you're going to build a business, and everyone here is building a business, if you're going to build a business, you got to have a plan. When I first started, I worked for a consulting firm for a couple of years, and they train you early. They're like, if you don't have a plan, it's going to take you forever to get where you want to get to. But if you a lot of times you have the right plan, it's like 90% planning, 10% implementation by having the plan put together. Otherwise, it's just this haphazard trying to figure it out. So, I think you have to decide how much you want to work. And I agree with you. I think anyone at any age can come and be successful in this business. But it just takes tenacity. It takes a commitment, and it takes consistency. And I think and you've seen it because you've built an incredibly successful career in this business. I mean, why are you successful while others aren't? Because you have a plan and you do the right things all the time. And it's that kind of consistency and beyond the hard work that's very hard. It's very important, and it's amazing how people don't do the work. They don't put the
Mhm.
time and the energy in. They expect the results. It's not going to happen in our business. You got to, there's no like shortcut. But once
Yeah.
you figure that out, like you said, you can really enjoy the journey because our business is awesome because you have so much flexibility, so much freedom, and really you have largely unlimited upside. When I worked for, like I said, I worked for a consulting firm for a couple of years, and then I worked in corporate America for a couple of years before I really got out. That was a big difference. Is that I felt like I had unlimited upside. I could work as hard as I wanted to, but I could see the fruits of my labor. Where if I collected a paycheck, like I had a very limited box I could work within. And so it's cool to have that sort of unlimited ability to grow and create whatever it is you want.
Yeah, no, and what you said there in terms of planning, it is so critical. And my mentor always tells me, you got to plan, you got to spend more time planning, and then the rest of it will work itself out. But if you don't have a plan and you're just running around, yeah, you're going to inevitably focus on the wrong things. And so when you plan, you have that clarity, and then it comes down to the consistency and the cadence of doing the work over and over and over again. And again, like, a lot of people overestimate what they can get accomplished in 1 year, and they underestimate what they can get accomplished in 5 years. And so it is so important what you said about planning. And that's what I love about as well, is that you guys invest so much into helping all of the brokers business plan for the following year. And then even during this period and before this period, you guys invest in coaching up all of the brokers. So I actually pay a hefty amount for coaching, and you guys offer it for free to every agent that works at App Properties on a daily basis. And you give them the tools to plan and what things that they need to focus on. It's really second to none. And so that's been an amazing thing. And the other amazing thing, you had mentioned adaptability as a strength of the company and as one of your strengths. And one thing I wanted to bring to light is during this period when COVID was fresh and we weren't sure what the world was going to look like in a couple months and what the business was going to look like. Your adaptability and your leadership during that time really shined through. You were always sending all of the brokers and everyone at the company emails and explanations of what their options were and what they could do to try to navigate through this period. And I can't imagine the amount of time that you took to write those long emails with all of the detail, but you did it day in, day out, showing that cadence and consistency, but also showing that servant leadership. Uh, how do you think that came about? Like, because the amount of leadership and just not only providing the information, but providing like hope during that time when a lot of people were very scared and discouraged and afraid. You were able to really present a level of calm. Is that something you've always kind of had as a strength? Is that something you had to learn over time?
I think it's definitely something. It's definitely something you learn over time, and it's when you talk about communication. We talk about the value of relationships here. Well, what is the key to any relationship? It's communication. Any relationship, whether it be your marriage or your business partnership or your friendships or whatever, it's all about communication. And so we knew people were scared and freaked out, and I would say that we were a little freaked out. I wouldn't say we were scared, but we were definitely like, okay, this is something new. But we knew that, okay, what are the things people need? They need a sense of stability. What can we do to provide them with a sense of stability when things are unstable? So we just tried to pick and choose the things that we knew we could help with. And then you're right, we did it very, very consistently because we wanted to make sure people didn't feel alone, especially when we're all locked down in our house by ourselves. You felt alone. Back in 2008, 2009, when we went through the last downturn, one of the things that we did back then, we didn't have Zoom and everything, but and we weren't locked down. We Thad and I both we did a lunch twice a week, every week with like 12 to 15 agents. Because everyone was freaking out. Everyone's business was falling through the floor. You think about the market was down 30+% a year for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So you just had to make sure people realized they weren't alone, that we're all going through it together, and that we had a plan, that we would work through it together, and that it would be okay. And that's a lot of times what people need to hear. They just need to hear. They need to hear what's going on, and they need to hear some perspective. And so, I guess I don't say it comes naturally, but I think we've learned over time just the importance of communication and making sure that people, feel like we're there for them, and we're providing, and not just like any communication, but some communication of value.
Hmm.
But yeah, we worked super hard during that period of time because we knew what people needed, and it paid off. If you look at the company's results, um, I've just pulled some of these stats because we've been doing a lot of these online office meetings, and our stats are, they're overwhelmingly better than the market. I think the market's up 10% in terms of number of contracts, and we're up like 24%. So we're beating the market substantially, and I really think it's all the preparation that people did during that period, and a lot of it was, and not just my or Thad's communication, but Amy and Kevin doing a daily, their coffee with Amy and Kevin, that gave something people to do every day, so that you could start your morning off, and at least you could get yourself in a work mode when you're stuck at home and you can't go anywhere and you got to figure something out. So it's like anything else. It's like creating structure is so important. Like, what do we do for our kids? We create structure because they function better with structure, even though they don't like it all the time. It's like, so we have to do it for each other. We have to create structure and accountability and the things that are going to help people get through some of the kind of more trying times. And this was a trying time.
Yeah, no, and you guys, I feel like leadership is shown during difficult or trying times. And like you were saying, during the crash, when all of us were like, oh my goodness, is real estate just going to die completely? And then again, during this COVID period, you guys really stepped up. And so I wanted to commend you guys on that. Now, you mentioned about also communication, which I feel like is such an important thing for anybody doing any type of service business, that you have to communicate, but communicate value to your client or your consumer. And so I hope people didn't just glance over that last part, but really listen in, because Mike provided a lot of wisdom there. Mike, I know you also have mentioned Thad a number of times. So you guys are the co-founders and co-CEOs. Um, it has always amazed me that you guys have stuck together as long as you have, and achieving all of the accomplishments you have, like, how do you guys keep that relationship so strong um, through the ups and downs? And, I would imagine there's a lot of different factors that also kind of come in that could possibly tear you apart. And yet you guys are always uh, incredibly close. How do you guys maintain that relationship throughout these years?
Because we treat our partnership like any other relationship, where communication is key. And listen, we've had our ups and downs. We don't always agree all the time, but we do have the ability to get in a room, come together, and come out of that room of one mind. And I think that a lot of it comes with trust. We've been partners. Obviously, we've been here for more than 20 years, but we've been partners for like 23 years, like just 50-50 partners. And we have an incredible high degree of trust in each other and what we're doing, and that we know that we're always doing what's best for the partnership and for the company, for us. Um, you know, we we just, it's funny. People ask. I mean, if we're good at one thing, we're good at being partners, because we are both adaptable with each other. We both have a high degree of respect for each other, in addition to trust. And we're just able to figure it out. I think we've never focused on money, which I think has helped us. And we've had some wins and losses. We've made money and we've lost money, and we've had, I've done something that didn't work out so well and cost us money. He's done something that, and we've never ever gotten upset about it. It's like we know, hey, you were doing it, you did your best, and not everything always works out, but I'm in for half, I'm in for half. And then, on the flip side of it, we've had successes, and we've been, fortunate to share in some successes. But we've always tried to focus on the long term, not focused on the short term. Understanding that there's gives and takes, and there'll be times where he's working much harder than I am, and I may not be working as hard, but he'll never come to me and go, "Well, what are you doing? I've been killing myself for the last 2 weeks, and you've been on vacation," and vice versa. We both know that over months and years, it all comes out in the wash. And I think that's what's difficult in partnerships, is you have to have that kind of high degree of trust and be okay with the fact that everything's not going to be 100% equal all the time. But we treat our partnership just like we treat our marriages. Communication, love, trust. I mean, those things are all like critically important. So it goes back to the core values we have here. The relationship side of it's key, and we work on our relationship just like anything else, always.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell, because me having been married now 17 years, and she was my high school sweetheart, so we were dating for 10 years before that. And you realize, like, in order for you to make any relationship work, because there are so many ups and downs, is you really have to have the other person's best interest at heart. It can't ever be like, oh, 50-50, 51-49, something along those lines. It's really got to be like, okay, how can I serve that other person? And hopefully, like you were mentioning, through trust, that person has the same mindset or mentality of how they can serve me. And as long as you're looking through that lens of, how can I serve the other person? How can I help the other person? I feel like that's the only way you make a relationship work for that long a period of time. And so it was great to hear that from you as well. And that's no different than any relationship or partnership. And so I feel like that's very important for people to understand. Now, um, I know we're going through another challenging time, and yet you guys decided to open up a brand new office. I mean, you're opening up a number of offices, and you guys, I believe, expanded during the last downturn in 2008, 2009, when everybody else was closing up. You guys were investing in growing your business. And the same thing I'm seeing now, where you guys are opening up a new office in the Gold Coast at 900 North Michigan, I believe. Why the decision to open up an office in the Gold Coast, where you could maybe have found some more cost effective locations?
I mean, in terms of expansion, going back to that kind of question, we always feel we're not true like total contrarians, But when people are pulling back, if you can show a sign of strength, you have an opportunity to grow. And it's about growing market share. We've always been able to grow our market share best when things were a little bit tougher. So we are committed to that, but smart growth. And in terms of the Gold Coast, I mean, we actually did. We own the building that our office on Streeterville, 212 Ohio is in. We made the decision to move to what we felt was a better space and a better location for our agents, that we felt like we could grow more and be more successful being in that space in the Gold Coast, because of the location, because that's where we know people wanted to be versus staying in what was starting to become kind of a tired office. So for us, it was just it just made sense to us to make that investment and to move there and to move into that area. So we make our decisions are very tactical. I mean, they're well thought through. I wouldn't say they're over debated, but we make sure that we're making the best decisions for the long haul of the company. But we saw an opportunity there. It was a beautiful office space that a competitor of ours had built out and then basically decided they didn't want to be there anymore, which we still don't understand why. They obviously weren't very successful there, but it was like we were able to basically take advantage of all the money that they put into the space and get it for free, and have an awesome office that we could really be proud of, versus the office that we had that we weren't proud of it. We just knew that it had aged. And really, again, it's that idea of evolving. You need to be evolving. You can't just sit back and say, I can't have an office that doesn't look the part for who we are as a company. So.
Yeah, no, I've always admired that as well, is that not only are you guys trying to help the brokers and the consumers with the best of everything, but you also do that in terms of reinvesting into the community because, our office is based out of Chicago. And so you guys investing into the Chicago market as well, just really showing your leadership during these times that you guys are not falling back or cutting costs, but you're like, you know what? We see an opportunity. We want to support the city of Chicago. We believe in the city of Chicago. And so that was really encouraging for me to see you guys making that move. And I'm so excited to check out that space.
Really cool.
I know. Yeah, no, I can't wait. And of course, one of the most desired buildings in all of the city. So that's going to be incredible. Now, I guess growing up or even now, do you have like role models or mentors that you look up to or that have had big impacts on your life? And if so, could you share a little bit about, what kind of impact they might have had or what you've learned from them?
It's hard to say if I had role. I mean, I've had general role models. I think, one of the things Thad and I kind of lacked when we started was sort of a mentor role model. We just sort of figured it out. And we made a lot of mistakes along the way. But there have been plenty of people that have been impactful in our lives and have helped us along and given us opportunities. Probably too many people to count. But we're just appreciative of the relationships because that's what it's all. But what made it work for us. If you look at many of the successes we had really came because we developed great relationships with clients who gave us opportunities. Bill Smith back in the day. He was a tough client, but he gave us some incredible opportunities to build our business off of, and we'll eternally be grateful for the opportunities he gave us. And we learned a lot working with him. We learned. I wouldn't. It's hard to say he was a mentor. He was a tough client, but he was a great client, and he gave us. He forced us to be better, and we owe a lot to him because I think we learned from that evolution. So for us, I think it's constantly trying to work. We constantly try to learn from everyone around us. We learn from our competitors. We learn from everyone we work with. Constantly trying to be better and to evolve, and trying to be self-reflective about how we can get there. So, it's kind of a little bit of a non-answer to that question because haven't had like a specific God. This was like my mentor. This was a person who inspired me to do this. I can look at some really cool entrepreneurs out there who I think are very inspiring, but I just think we've had a litany of people who have touched our lives in many, many positive ways, and we've been real fortunate.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, it's Impressive to see, but yeah, like you were saying, everyone can have an impact on your life. And so whether it's like making the calls or not making the calls, it's like you never know what conversation, what interaction you're going to have in that day that can change the trajectory of your life. And so always being open to that and being aware that those things can happen, but they can't happen if you're not communicating, if you're not interacting, if you're not out there working each and every day. So that's awesome. What I guess would be some advice that you would have given yourself like 20 years ago when you were just starting out, now that you have the hindsight, the clarity of hindsight?
I think I would have said I could have done a better job of committing to my business plan and my marketing. We over time we really learned how to build our business and market ourselves. We benefited a little bit from a crazy market back in the mid 90s when we both got in the business. 96, 97 was kind of nuts. I remember sitting in a sales center and it was like you'd write like 9 contracts on a Saturday. I was working on a new construction project, so I didn't always do the best job of staying in touch with all my clients because I had a lot going on. I would have created better systems for myself earlier on in my business.
Hmm.
So I learned some lessons, and I think a lot of the things that we created are from lessons that we learned that we didn't do as well as we feel like we could have. But I also think the business has evolved so much. It's so much harder today than it was when I started. It's much more complicated. It's much more competitive. So I think again, we evolved and innovated at our own pace. There are definitely some things that I wish I had done differently, and I think I wish I had made some investments in things quicker than we did, both personally and as a company. Like I said, we have an incredible chief operating officer here who has really transformed a lot of the foundation of our company. I wish we had done that 5 years earlier. But like everything else, timing's about timing, and we were ready when she came along, and it's been a great relationship and a great benefit to the company.
Yeah, no, I I was asking more because I'm like, I don't know what they could have done much better than they have done
Oh, there's a
already.
lot of things we could have done a lot better. We could have put, it's funny, you learn about, investments we could have made that would have saved us money instead of cost us money. But, you learn, you figure
Yeah.
it out along the way. And that's part of the process, and you have to be okay with it. Like, you can't beat yourself up because something doesn't work out. One of the things in this business, you got to be willing to take some risks. You gotta, if you're going to be successful, you got to take some risks. And so you can't beat yourself up when some of them don't work out because they're not all going to work out perfectly.
Yeah, no, I calculated risks, I feel like, is one of the biggest factors of growth. And I think a lot of times people have the mindset of, oh, what is this going to cost me? Oh, can I afford to do this? And then they get in their own heads and then they miss out on great opportunities. Not saying that you should chase everything that is out there, but if you put a lot of thought into it, if you analyze it, you think it's a good decision, sometimes the best decision is, you know what, I'm just going to move forward with this. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, at least I made an educated risk assessment and pulled the trigger. Because again, what you're saying about the COO is like a lot of agents or brokers I see, they wait to pull the trigger on maybe getting help or admin support or things like that because they're like, oh, what is it going to cost me? When in fact, it will actually save you money because now you're not doing those $10, $15 an hour tasks that can then open you up to do more uh, high end or high level business decisions. So that was really great to hear. I know we're running kind of short on time because I know you're very busy. So I really appreciate you taking the time. Like I said again, uh, I guess closing out. Oh no, one more question. Why? How did you guys decide to focus so much on building like a culture? like you guys have at because really like I once I came here, I'm like, scrap my business model. I'm going to copy exactly what at does to the brokers that work here. I'm going to do the exact same thing for my clients because it was just such a shift and a different way of thinking versus what I was taught and or what I thought was a good way to run a business. Then I come here and see how you guys always invest in not only technology and services for us, but also creating environments that are enjoyable, warm, having great holiday parties and movie nights, and just always focusing on showing your appreciation. Like, what did that come from, or how did you guys decide that that was going to be a critical component of growing at?
I think part of that is, learning from where we were. I mean, we worked for a small brokerage company when we first started out, but it didn't have a great culture, didn't have a good atmosphere. People weren't nice to each other. It wasn't, Thad and I had a great little, it was before teams, but we had our kind of, it was the two of us, and we had one or two agents we worked with who helped us out. Like I said, it wasn't really a team thing, but, it wasn't, you didn't go to work every day and go, wow, this is great. I mean, we enjoyed working with each other, but like it wasn't a positive atmosphere. So when we started we said, if nothing else, we didn't know if we were going to grow big or we are going to stay small or whatever. I mean, he'll tell you we have this grand plan, but I'll tell you it evolved. We didn't have this grand plan. But the one commitment we made to each other is we're going to make sure that we have an atmosphere that we like going to work to every day. That we enjoy going to work, that people are treated well, that people that work with us, so people that work for us, feel valued and feel like they want to be there. We wanted to create a place that was attractive, not a place that you're kind of persuaded to come and work at. We wanted a place that felt good, and that's the one theme that we've never let go of. That when we're bringing new agents or we're hiring an agent, to this day, I don't care what the volume is. If we feel they're going to be detrimental to our culture, we won't bring them in. It doesn't matter what the volume is. There's no one that's worth creating a toxic culture out of. And I don't know if I would say the culture room was toxic, but it wasn't positive. So we kind of learned a lesson, and it started small, and then over time we realized the power of culture and the power of creating something people wanted to be a part of. And then we focused even more on investing in that. And the idea of like showing our appreciation, that's just natural. I mean, what everyone here has helped us build, like it's not me and Thad. I mean, we definitely have had an impact here, but the reality is it's this incredible team of people all the way around who have come in and helped us build this. So it's natural to us, if we have the ability and we have a good year, that we can do things to show our appreciation for everyone here. I mean, this is a weird year because we can't do as much, so we're going to have to be a little more creative, and we're going to have to adapt to different way of doing things, probably over the long haul. But to us, it's just natural that you would show your appreciation, because that's what's going to build something positive for the long haul. It's like kind of what I said before. You can't look at every little thing. You can't focus on the right here and now as much as you have to focus on the kind of broader picture.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And honestly, like one of the greatest, just refreshing feelings was coming to at and experiencing that culture firsthand. And now just seeing it consistently happen, not just like, oh, I came over and so I get wowed in the beginning and then it kind of dies out. The how you guys are always trying to show your appreciation is just incredible. And I feel like one of the great reasons why at is the great company that it is. Uh, One other question. So I have that love sign behind me. Um, how did you guys decide that that was going to be something that you guys focus on and promote and just uh, is kind of a foundational pillar of the company?
I give Thad a lot of credit. I mean, Thad really is the brilliance behind the brand, the foundation of our brand. I mean, he's always been an out of the box thinker. And if you looked at the marketing and advertising that we did back in the day, instead everyone was putting a little picture of a house, so you jam a bunch of them on a page. We would have a picture of like a bunny for Easter, and people would be like, they definitely shook their head for a while, but then our brand became associated with something more than just a little picture of a house. Um, so as we've kind of built that brand, We've always needed to think about, what do we want to be associated with? We want to be associated with luxury because luxury is important. But like, who doesn't who doesn't love love? Like, think about it. Like, who can say, oh, I don't love love. That's there. I mean, no one can say anything bad about it. I mean, it's love. It's like everyone wants love in their life.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just a natural. It's like what you want to be associated with. So if people can associate us in our culture with love and appreciation and relationships, then then we've done one thing right anyway. So
Yeah, no. And I guess that leads into the next thing is in 2009, you guys started At Gives, and you guys support a bunch of amazing organizations through that initiative, that nonprofit foundation. How did you guys decide to start At Gives, or why did you guys decide to start At Gives, I guess?
well, we've always tried to be charitable, particularly locally, because we think supporting the communities that we work in is critically important. They've supported us. They've helped create success for us. Um, but so we want to be able to give back, and we want to be able to provide that to the communities who have made us successful. So I think at some point we realized having an organization that our agents could really participate in. Because I know, like, I remember when I was younger, I wanted to get involved in charitable organization. I wanted to give back, but I didn't know how to do it. Like where do I go? What do I do? So it provided a conduit, and it also provided a way for because our agents run the foundation. They make the decisions where we're giving, the charities we're going to support. They do, they take point in a lot of the fundraising. I mean, Thad and I participate in a lot of it, but a lot of it is really agent driven, and we wanted to provide the everyone here with the ability to have a voice in it, and then provide an opportunity for people to get involved because a lot of people don't know where to go. And it's all grounded in the foundation of the idea that we want to give back to the communities that we're in. We're a local company. Locals made us who we are. We want, like, that's super important to us.
Oh, no, that's great. And I've seen it. So many amazing organizations benefit from the partnership with That Gives. So um, yeah, I'm just honored to be a part of that as well. So I know we've talked a lot about work. Like, what do you do to unwind, or when you're not working? Like, what are some things that you enjoy doing?
Listen, like you, I've got three kids, and that's a big part of my life. My wife and my kids are a huge part of my life, and my wife's got a big family, so we do a lot of family activities, and it takes up a lot of time. So I'm enjoying it now. My kids are at a great age. It's going fast, and I got 6 years before they're out of the house, which is kind of weird. And but so I'm trying to enjoy that as much as I can. And I just try to stay active. I started playing tennis a couple of years ago. I'm not that good, but I enjoy it. Um, my wife, my wife and I both play together. She's better than I am, but that's okay. I'm used to getting beaten by her. But like I said, I like to be physically active, and I love spending time, family, friends. And we're so focused on that and work, there's not much time for really anything else. So
Yeah, no, you realize the things that are important to you by the time that you allocate to them. And
really,
so, yeah, people can say what they want, but yeah, the time that you invest is the most important thing. So, lastly, what is something that people might not know about you that they're like, oh, interesting, I did not know that about Mike, or a guilty pleasure, or anything like that?
um, God, guilty pleasure. I own a fair amount of wine. I enjoy a little red wine, not too much, but I've been buying wine for about 15 years, and have a decent little collection at home that I really just buy it to drink it. I don't buy it to like sell it or anything. God, things about me. I mean, um, I mean, looking back, I mean, like if you go back, like I was a little bit of a nerd growing up. I played the trombone when and I was on the math team. I was probably not the coolest kid in school, but that was okay. I had a lot of good friends. Um, but so I was definitely a little different. And I think I look at both my partner here and my wife, and I feel like I owe a tremendous amount to them because they've definitely helped me. I don't think I had a very high degree of self confidence when I was younger. And I think that I owe a lot to both of them in helping me to develop self confidence. And as you know, in this business, self confidence is really important for success. And it's funny. I think like when I used to get up and speak in front of a group, even a group of 20 people, terrified, like get in my
Really?
own
Wow.
head. I would talk really fast. And I think over time, developing a little bit of experience doing it, now it's fun. Now as long as I have some idea what I'm going to talk about, I get up there and I have fun with it, and I don't get stressed about it. So, I think just like anything, we've all evolved. I've evolved a lot as a person, and I owe it a lot to the relationships that I've had, and I'm very appreciative of that. So,
Oh, that's
nothing too
awesome.
exciting, nothing
Yeah.
crazy. So
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. I was part of the math team as well. So
there you go.
no shame in that. No shame in that. And I think that there was just so much value in this episode. So please, guys, listen to it again. Mike is legitimately one of the best leaders I've ever encountered in my life. And so the stuff about relationships, about hard work, cadence, really just planning. There was so many great pieces of advice for anyone that's trying to either grow their business or start a business. So really, if you guys found value in this, please, if you can write a review, rate this episode, please share it with anyone else that you might know that would find value in it. We would greatly appreciate it. We'll pick out somebody who has the best review, and we'll make sure that I send you some free at property swag or something along those lines. And Mike, thank you once again. I really valued this time, and I appreciate you dropping knowledge on all of our listeners and viewers. So, like I said, guys, if you guys have any questions about franchising, please reach out to me. It is one of the greatest companies on the planet. So you would be lucky to be a part of it. And if you guys want to connect with Mike, he's on LinkedIn, not as big on social media. So don't message him there because he might not get back to you. But
Well, you can find me on our website. I'm easy. And if you've made it this far, thank you.
that's right. That's right. If you listen this long, thank you very much. And like we were saying, Mike, thanks again. Please, for everybody listening, leave a comment in appreciation for Mike and all of the information that he gave to us. And thanks for listening. I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Chicago Business Review.